Before the world called him a movie legend, Jet Li was already a warrior. Not the kind that fought for cameras, the kind that fought for honor. Long before Hollywood ever came knocking,
you need to prove to the world what you can do better than the other. So that means you need to fight yourself, physically and mentally. You need to prove to yourself you can do something different.
Jet was already mastering weapons, acrobatics, and combat forms that would take most men a lifetime. They called him the Invincible One. But Jet never saw himself that way. He didn't fight to prove he was stronger. He fought to prove discipline mattered. Some say Jet Li isn't a real fighter. That's the kind of thing people say when they've never stepped onto the floor, when they've never heard the sound of a wooden staff slicing through the air, or felt the crack of a perfectly timed kick against armor. Jet Li didn't just act it, he lived it. You don't fake the speed, the precision, the focus that made his style legendary. Every movement he throws on screen comes from years of war in silence, training 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not choreography, that's truth. He's the perfect balance between warrior and artist. Where Bruce Lee brought philosophy, Jet brought poetry through movement. Every fight he performed was like a story written in motion, fast, graceful, unstoppable. You could feel it in Once Upon a Time in China. You could hear it in Fist of Legend. And when he crossed into Hollywood with Lethal Weapon 4 and Romeo Must Die, the world finally saw what Asia already knew. Jet Li wasn't pretending. He was demonstrating. The way his body moved, the way he controlled rhythm and space, that wasn't just Wushu technique. That was a man channeling everything he'd ever learned into every strike. Real fighters don't need to talk about how real they are. They show it. He fought for honor. Jet Li wasn't just a martial artist. He was a force of nature. Every opponent he faced, he didn't out-muscle them. He out-thought them, out-moved them, and out-hearted them. From the dusty floors of training halls to the blinding lights of film sets, Jet Li carried one thing that never changed: his discipline. He trained in silence, built his power through pain, and turned every bruise into a lesson. When others relied on strength, he relied on precision. When others showed fear, he showed focus. And when others retreated, Jet Li stepped forward, calm, controlled, unbreakable. He never needed to boast, never needed to brag, because his art spoke louder than any words ever could. You could see it in every strike, every glance, every perfectly timed movement. From ancient temples to modern battlefields, his spirit stayed the same, fearless, focused, and pure. Because legends aren't born from easy victories. They're forged through the warriors who never back down, and Jet Li was one of them. And there you have it, another legend honored by movie combat kings. If you enjoyed this tribute, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next Battle of the Greats.